Welcome to Eerie Instance, where reality blurs with nightmares. Dive into chilling tales and moments that linger. Today's chilling tale, The Forgotten Path Part 2. Brace yourself, the shadows have a story to tell.
The village, shrouded in a gray curtain of mist, had an eeriness that was palpable. Every house Alex passed seemed to echo the long-gone laughter and whispers of the villagers. But those were just memories, nothing more than faded impressions on time. The houses gradually gave way to a small clearing. In its center stood the well-old, stone-crafted, and almost overwhelmed by creeping vines. Alex approached with trepidation. The diary's accounts had been vivid and unsettling. A soft breeze played, and even though there wasn't a cloud in the sky, the place felt as if it was trapped in perpetual twilight. Alex tried to convince themselves that this was just another well, that the stories were exaggerated. But as they neared, faint whispers seemed to grow louder, as if carried by the wind from deep within the earth. Curiosity outweighed fear. Alex leaned over the edge, trying to discern any sound or movement. The whispers became clearer, a cacophony of voices speaking over each other, yet impossible to understand. One voice, however, began to rise above the rest. It was soft, melodic, and hauntingly familiar. "Help us," it pleaded. Startled, Alex almost fell back. The voice sounded like Elise's, the woman from the diary. She sounded as if she was in pain, her voice echoing with decades of torment. Alex felt a sudden urge to climb down, to rescue Elise and the other trapped souls. But reason prevailed. It was just an old well, and those voices had to be a trick of the wind. But what if they weren't? Shaking off the hesitation, Alex decided to lower a small voice recorder into the well, hoping to capture the whispers. They tied it to a long, sturdy rope found nearby and began the descent. Minutes felt like hours. The whispers grew louder and more desperate. Suddenly, Alex felt a sharp tug on the rope. Panicking, they tried to pull the recorder back, but it felt as if something was pulling from the other end. With a final, forceful jerk, Alex lost grip, and the recorder was swallowed by the abyss. The whispers stopped. A deafening silence hung in the air. Alex's heart raced. Every instinct screamed to leave, to get as far away from this forsaken village as possible. But a new sound emanated from the well, a soft, melodic lullaby sung by a woman, Elise. Unable to resist the pull of the voice, Alex once again approached the well, peering into its depths. In the Stygian darkness below, they saw something that froze their blood. Reflecting back at them wasn't their own face, but faces of the villagers twisted in horror. And among them, a face that stood out from the rest, Elise, her eyes pleading. As Alex stared, transfixed, waterlogged hands shot out from the well, gripping their arms with a cold, unyielding strength. Panic surged. They tried to pull away, but more hands emerged, dragging them closer to the edge. The last thing Alex remembered was the terror-filled eyes of Elise as they were pulled into the dark void below. The well's chilling embrace welcomed them. Darkness enveloped Alex. It wasn't the tranquil absence of light you find when you close your eyes, but a suffocating, tangible darkness that weighed on their chest and constricted their breath. They flailed in the void, desperately searching for a surface, a direction, anything that might orient them. The cold tendrils of panic began to creep in. The murmuring voices from the well had transformed into screams of torment, echoing and reverberating, creating a cacophony of despair. Among the sea of voices, one seemed familiar. It was a soft, pleading voice which rose above the others, beckoning Alex closer. "Help me." "Please," the voice whimpered. Following the sound, Alex came face to face with a hazy figure. As the mist around it cleared, the familiar face of Elise from the diary materialized. She looked desperate, her eyes filled with centuries of sadness. "Alex," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. I saw your diary, Elise," Alex stammered, trying to keep their voice steady. "What happened to this village? What is this place?" "This is the abyss," Elise responded, her voice a broken whisper. "The repository of the village's collective nightmares, fears, and sins. The well. It's a bridge." People heard whispers, but they were merely echoes of their own subconscious. Over time, the fear consumed them, turning neighbor against neighbor. I became their scapegoat. She paused, tears streaming down her face. They blamed me for the voices. They said I summoned the darkness, and in their paranoia, they turned on me. The void around them shifted, the darkness drawing back like curtains on a stage. Suddenly, they stood in the middle of the village, bathed in the crimson light of dusk. Villagers surrounded Elise, their faces twisted in anger and fear. Some held torches, others brandished makeshift weapons. At the center, bound and terrified, stood Elise. The scene played out. Alex felt every emotion as if they were part of that mob, the irrational anger, the fear, the need to blame someone. They watched in abject horror as the crowd descended upon Elise, accusing her of witchcraft. They witnessed her desperate pleas for mercy, her cries of innocence drowned out by the bloodthirsty shouts of the villagers. The scene reached its climax with Elise's brutal, martial death. The sheer violence of it shocked Alex to the core, rendering them motionless. Every blow, every scream of agony echoed in their soul, a sharp, piercing pain that seemed to tear them apart from the inside. As the vision faded, the weight of what they had witnessed bore down on Alex. A crushing realization hit them: the cycle of the village's fear and paranoia was not broken. They had unwittingly become a part of it. Why me? Why am I here? Alex choked out. Elise looked at them with tear-filled eyes. "You're my descendant," she whispered. "The last of our bloodline. The village's curse is tied to our family. By coming here, you've awakened the past." Alex's heart raced. The photograph, the baby in Elise's arms, it was him. This wasn't just history. It was their ancestry, their curse. "I'm so sorry," Elise sobbed. "I hoped the village's horrors would die with me, but they lingered, waiting for you." As despair threatened to overtake Alex, a soft, shimmering light began to pierce the surrounding darkness. Elise reached out, touching Alex's face gently. "You can break the cycle," she whispered. "Fight the fear. Remember who you are. Don't let the past define you." With a final, desperate surge of strength, Alex pushed against the suffocating void, focusing on that glimmer of light. The weight of the abyss began to wane, the voices of the ghostly presence fading into the distance. Cold embrace of the darkness receded, replaced by the warmth of the sun on his skin. Gasping for air, Alex found himself lying at the edge of the forest, the fog that had once enveloped the village now gone. Was he alone? All this time? Were his companions merely ghosts, trying to pull him into the darkness? He rose shakily to his feet, the weight of the village's tragic history heavy on his shoulders. The village remained, a silent testament to the dangers of unchecked fear and paranoia. With one last glance at the now silent well, Alex turned away, vowing to remember the lessons of the past and break the cycle once and for all.
Did the shadows grip your soul? If you dared to enjoy, hit that like button. Subscribe and stay tuned for more eerie instants. Until then, let the darkness guide you.